YouTube, and welcome to another podcast. As you can see, I am in my closet. I'm trying to find that right area to get that right sound for y'all, because sound is so important in these videos. And I'm just, experimenting at this point. I might end up doing the podcast in my bathroom. I don't know, but I'm just experimenting, playing around to see where I can get that nice podcast sound for y'all. So, welcome to my closet. Anyway, um, I want to talk in this podcast about the problems of catfishing. Now, everybody knows what catfishing is. Everybody knows. When you say or look a certain way, and then when someone sees you, you look nothing like that at all. Now, as a disclaimer, because I know how people get sensitive about certain things, and I can't tell y'all that all my podcasts are going to be agreed upon by everyone, right? Everyone has their own opinions, and opinions vary, so I'm not going to sit here and say everything I talk about everyone's going to agree with. That's just not me, and that's not how the world works. First of all, let me get this out the way early. Everyone has the right to do whatever they want to do to make themselves look and feel better. Everyone has that right. I cannot take that right from you. No one can take that right from you. Nothing I say here can take that right away from anyone. So everyone has the right to make themselves look and feel better however they want to do that. With that being said, I don't know when it happened. I'm pretty sure it was when social media kind of blew up, but people nowadays have a lot of pressure on themselves. Well, they put a lot of pressure on themselves to look a certain way, to act a certain way, but specifically look a certain way. And it's usually based off of some trend or fad that they see that's trending and getting a lot of attention from the world. And this stuff happens a lot on social media. If you see something and you think it looks cool on someone else, and you want to try it on yourself, that's fine. The problem I have is when people get to the point where they are doing something that is completely against and not who they are. So with makeup, right? I'm not really a big fan of makeup. I don't really care for it. Like if you want to wear makeup, fine, but if you don't want to, I'm perfectly fine with that too. So people will put on makeup, and they can put it on to the point where they turn into a completely different person. And I know y'all have seen it. They got videos and TikToks of people that look one way and they throw on makeup and they look like a whole different person. That right there is a bit extreme, because if you're portraying yourself to the world as the person you are with makeup on, but that's not who you really are, then you might run into identity issues. Like, do you know who you really are? Are you that person with the makeup, or are you that person without it? And if you do it for a purpose, right? Like if you're some kind of social media influencer or some kind of ad for makeup, I get it. But when you have to put on makeup to conform to a certain crowd, then you might be taken away from who you really are. Like, can you go outside without makeup on and feel good about yourself? Can you? I don't know. Some people can't. And it's getting so crazy now to where the youth, the young people, feel they have to look a certain way. BBLs and Botox in their lips. And they're not even 15 years old. And that is ridiculous. That is extreme, to the point where we don't even know what we look like. We look in the mirror and is this me? So we gotta I think we gotta do better with this these identity crises. Like, you want to throw on a little makeup and enhance your appearance, all right, cool. But when you sitting in the mirror for an hour, putting on foundation and this and that, and it's I think that's a bit much, man. You might be careful, because you meet somebody and they think that's how you look, and you guys become something, and later on they realize, they roll over in the morning and look at you and like, wait a minute, this ain't the person I met. You know, that could be one reason why relationships don't last. People put on a show in the beginning and sell themselves, or try to sell themselves the way they aren't, and then the person buys it, and then later on down the line, it's like, wait a minute, you ain't who I thought you were. This is, that's one reason relationships don't work. We try to sell ourselves in the beginning to portray someone we not, and that shouldn't be what it's about, man. Just ask yourself, can I look good without makeup on? Can I go out here and attract the same people and get the same attention with makeup on as I could without it? I don't know. And aside from makeup, these filters are getting a bit out of hand. These filters got people having the most flawless skin, and the curves are just perfect. The lighting, and it's a bit much. And I think this kind of started with those Kardashians, and bringing them up, the Kardashians again in my podcast. They set a standard based on a lie. These people that put these pictures out like that, they don't really look like that. So when the youth sees this, they like, wow, I want to look like her. I want my body to look like her. And shout out to people like Lizzo, who they don't have the filters. They show themselves, hey, this is me. Shout out to people like that. I applaud them for their bravery and their confidence to be able to show themselves to the world in that light. Like, hey, this is me. But we don't have enough Lizzos, unfortunately. So everybody got these filters, and you looking at these pictures like, wow. I mean, aside from it making people's skin look flawless, you can make a minor look like a full-grown adult. And that's scary. That's scary. So I heard about they coming out with a disclaimer tool where when people post pictures that they edited or filtered or doctored, there's a disclaimer at the bottom that says this picture was edited. I think that's a great idea. I really think they should put that at the bottom of any picture that has been altered in any way. And I'm going to go a step further. I think they should also put an option to be able to see what the picture looked like before the filters and the Photoshop. I think that would be cool. I also think a lot of people would be against it because they just don't want the world to know how they are or see them in a certain light. But at the end of the day, with this one, with the catfishing, just be who you are. Like, if you are not comfortable in your own skin, it doesn't matter what you put on, what anyone says, you're never going to really truly be comfortable. And if you have to do things to get praise and adoration, then are you doing it for you, or are you doing it for those compliments? Personally, I think it's a chore to wake up every morning. Let me spend 2 hours in the mirror. Let me make sure my shoes ain't got no creases. Let me make sure my shirt ain't got no wrinkles. I think that's a task. Like, I couldn't imagine. I'm a pretty basic guy. T-shirt, sweats, hat, world keeps spinning. Take care of the basic hygienes, right? The breath, the ashiness, the skin, the smell, and you're good. Now if you go into an event or something, obviously you want to doll yourself up, right? That's different, okay? But just to walk outside to go check your mail, you have to put on makeup? Like, no. Because sooner or later, the makeup has to come off. And I'm telling you, especially relationship-wise, you meet somebody and they just flawless. Like, flawless. I mean, they skin is, and they the greatest person in the world. Just be careful. Nobody's perfect. Understand, youth and the appearance of youth, it fades with age. As we get older, that youthful look goes away. That's natural. But when we try to keep that youthful look, that can look crazy. When I see a 50-year-old woman with makeup on that got her looking 21, it's too much. It's like, what are you doing? Like, what? Really? Understand it. It's a natural occurrence. We all fade with age. We all sag as we get older. That's just natural. We can't look at a picture, oh, when I was 18, I want to have that same look. No. don't forget, you know, maybe sagging skin comes with old age, but wisdom also comes with that. So you want to trade that wisdom for a few wrinkles? I don't know. So let's just men and women, right? Because there are men that wear makeup. I just found this out. It was a revelation that blew my mind. Straight men wear makeup. Like, wow. I just, So the pressures of society, blah, blah, blah. The pressures that society put on us to look a certain way can be overwhelming. But if you have enough self-confidence to realize that it doesn't matter what society says, I look the way I look because I'm comfortable looking this way and I feel good, then you're already ahead of the game. And everyone doesn't have that self-confidence. Everyone just doesn't have the ability to walk outside and not care what nobody say about them. To those people, I say this. Just remember why you do it. Whatever you do to enhance your appearance and make you feel good, remember why you do it. If you're doing it because you like what you see in that mirror, you like the way it makes you feel, you like the way the clothes look, fine, by all means. But if you're like, wow, I can't imagine, or I can't wait to see how many compliments I get for this picture, or let me post this picture with some filters and makeup, come back an hour later and see how many likes I get. If that's why you're doing it, you might be a little confused about the purpose of enhancing your appearance. But either way, like I said at the beginning, man, we all have the right to do what makes us happy and do what makes us feel good. And no one can take that away from us. No one. I can't say anything to take away from you wanting to wear makeup or dress a certain way for the attention or praise or whatever. Do what makes you happy. And if everyone does that, the world will keep spinning and be a better place. Just at least know why you're doing it. Okay. That's it for this podcast, man. I had some sports stuff I was going to talk about. Tyreek Hill going to Miami. I think Kansas City is going to feel that one more than Miami, because Mahomes ain't got nobody to bomb it to now. Like, Tyreek Hill was his safety net. He could just throw that ball up in the air. Tyreek can find it, and the man can run. He can run and he can catch. I mean, and he fast, like stupid fast. I think that's going to be a significant blow to Kansas City. But, it is a business, and you are a business. Like, an athlete is a business. It's a brand. So you got to follow the money. And Kansas City wasn't about to give him $230 million. Miami said, we got you, bro. So follow that money. More power to him. Not knocking it. Speaking of $200 million, y'all know Deshaun Watson, he got signed with the Browns. Now, he really followed the money, which you can't knock it, because you look at the situation with these, with all these charges against him, these masseuse and all these allegations and stuff. So it's a lot of controversy. I mean, he definitely followed the money. 230, I think he got 230 million guaranteed. You got to follow that money, man. So Deshaun Watson, he secured the bag. Good on him. And he's 26 years old. He's young. And I'm not even going to mention how Chicago passed up on Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes for Mitchell Trubisky. We just keep going backwards, man. Hillary Clinton got COVID. I read that somewhere. Hillary Clinton got COVID. It's still out there, man. And I think, don't quote me, but I think they got another variant of it. Like, it's still there, man. It's not going away. I think the media stopped talking about it so much because of this war in Ukraine. And y'all should know how the media goes. They swing with whatever's trending and it's going to get them the most views. So I don't really rely on the news for the most reliable source, because the news, CNN and Fox, is like night and day. One's left, one's right, and they definitely show it on their websites and in their news. And I don't never use one news source as the holy grail of information. Don't ever do that. Research stuff yourself. Go to libraries, go on the internet. It's out there. Always research your stuff. Even if I say it. If I say something, research it for yourself. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people will take information and they will post it and share it just to be the first person to post it and share it and not even realize it's false information. That's another thing social media does to people. It you want to be the first to share information. Why? Does that make you feel better because you're the first person to copy a link and paste it? I don't know, man. It's just all kind of different things now. So, but that's it for this podcast, man. Next week, I'm going to be talking about coworkers and friends and why I don't think coworkers and friends mix. Why I don't think it mix. It's going to be a pretty good topic, man. Y'all keep going with this thing. Hopefully, I won't be in my closet on the next podcast. I don't know where I'm going to be. I might be on the roof, you know. I might just make that my thing. Just switch it up and just randomly do podcasting areas. But thank y'all for watching as always. 269 Podcast, that's the official name of my podcast, 269. If y'all don't know what 269 means, y'all really don't know me. But that's okay. Over time, you pay attention, you'll know where that 269 comes from. So 269 Podcast, that's the movement, man. That's how we gonna get it. Thank y'all for listening to this one. I got another one for y'all next week. I also got some new music coming out for y'all. I don't know when it's coming out. This song was kind of difficult to do, but I'm still putting that music out there. And no, I'm not a rapper, so we don't need nobody. Oh, he trying to be a rapper. No, I'm not trying to be a rapper. I'm not. I just do it because I enjoy it and because there are people that actually like my music, believe it or not. So yeah, that's it, man. Until the next video, y'all be easy. Everybody say hi to my pimple. Pimple, YouTube, Pimple. All right, I'm done with it.